in this first equation here, we want to get the w by itself. So we'll circle that. Draw our line of equality, remind ourselves what do we do on one side we have to do on the other. And what do we need to get rid of to get the w by itself? Okay, good. So we need to get rid of the 2/3, so we're going to do that by adding 2/3. And remember, whatever we do on one side of the pink line, we have to got to do on the other. So we're going to add 2/3 over here also. All right, so on the left side, these 2/3 are going to cancel each other out. So we have what left? W. And on the right side, we need to add 5/6 plus 2/3. Can I do that the way these fractions are written right now? No, what do we need? We need to get a common denominator. So what's our common denominator going to be here? Could be 18. So one way to get a common denominator is just multiply those denominators together. And if you get 18 as your common denominator, that'll give you the right answer. There is a simpler one, though.
Does it multiply 3 times 2?
Yeah, so yeah, we can change this to a 6, the 2/3, into something over 6, and then we don't even have to change this one. Okay? So you could change it to 18s if you wanted to. You would get the right answer. You just have to make sure you reduce. Let's use 6, though, because that's going to be a smaller common denominator. So instead of 2/3, we're going to have something over 6. And Alejandro, you said we're going to multiply by 2 to get that? All right, so we multiply by 2. And so on top, when we multiply by 2, what do we get? 4. So instead of adding 2/3, now we're adding 4 over 6. Can we do 5/6 plus 4/6? Can we do that? Do they have a yeah. What is 5 plus 4? 9. So we end up with 9 over 6. And then we're done, right? No. What do we need to do? Yes. Always check to make sure you can simplify. We can do that here. What goes into 9 that also goes into 6? 3. So we're going to reduce by 3. And so I'm going to rewrite this. W equals, what's 9 divided by 3? And what's 6 divided by 3? 2. So we get W equals 3 over 2. This is an improper fraction, but remember, we're going to leave them as improper fractions because those are easier to deal with. All right, on that second one, we want to get x by itself. So what do I need to get rid of there? 2/3. So how do I get rid of the 2/3 here? We're going to divide. This is 2/3 times x, so to get rid of it, we're going to divide by 2/3. So we divide by 2/3 here. We divide by 2/3 here. And on the right side, when those 2/3 cancel, what does that leave us? X. On the left side, we want to do 4/7 divided by 2/3. Can we do division with fractions? No. At least most of the time we cannot. In this case, we can't divide those. So what do we need to do? KFC. All right, so what does the K stand for? Keep. Which part of this are we going to keep? 4 over 7. What does the F stand for? Flip. Which part are we going to flip? 2 over 3. That's going to become 3 over 2. And then the C stands for change. What are we changing? Division into multiplication. All right, so we change the division problem into a multiplication problem, and then we just do all the same stuff we usually do to multiply fractions. Can I reduce anything here before I multiply? What? The 4 with the 2, right? So what goes into both of those? 2. When I divide by 2, what do I get for the 4? 2. And for the 2? 1. Can I reduce anything else? No. So I've reduced everything completely as much as I can. Now we just multiply across. 2 times 3 is 6, and 7 times 1 is 7. Can I reduce 6 over 7? No. On this next problem here, what do I want to get by itself? The y, so we'll circle that, draw our line of equality. And so what do I need to get rid of to get the y by itself? The 6. So how do I get rid of the 6? Multiply, right? That's y divided by 6. So to get rid of a division, we multiply. So we're going to multiply by 6. Now, over on the right side, when I multiply by 6, I'm multiplying a fraction times a whole number. Okay, it's easier if we do a fraction times a fraction though, so what can we do? We're going to make that a 6 over 1. So instead of just 6, we're going to make it 6 over 1, and then we'll be able to multiply these fractions just like we always do. Alright, before we do that though, on the left side those 6's cancel, leaving what? Y by itself. It's nice when we get that variable by itself, right? That's what we're trying to do. On the right side, we can reduce, can't we? What'll reduce? The 6 with the 2? No. We can't reduce the 6 with the 2 because they're both numerators. But we can reduce the 6 with the 3. What goes into both of those? 3. So we divide by 3. What do we get on top here? I think I heard somebody say 2. What do we get on the bottom? 1. Okay, can I reduce anything else? No. So when I multiply across, on top I get 2 times 2, which is 4. And on the bottom I have 1 times 1, which is 1. Can I simplify this?
Yes.
We can. Now we can't reduce it, but we can simplify it. How can we simplify it?
Just have it as a 4.
Exactly. 4 over 1 means 4 divided by 1, right? We know what 4 divided by 1 is. It's just 4. So we don't need that 1 on the bottom. In fact, since we want to write our answers in simplest form, we don't want that 1. It should not be there. All right, so you can write 4 over 1, that's fine. But if you notice that you get a fraction with a 1 on the bottom, just rewrite it. Okay, so instead of y equals 4 over 1, we get y equals 4. Last one, we want to get that z by itself. So we'll circle that, draw our line. And what do I need to get rid of? The 1/4, and how do I do that? Subtract it. So we subtract 1/4, do it on both sides. That's a 4. 1/4. And those 1/4 cancel, leaving z by itself over here. On the right side, what do we need to do? We need to get a common denominator. What would our common denominator be here for thirds and fourths? 12. There's nothing smaller than 12 that 3 and 4 both go into, is there? No. So we're going to change them both to something over 12. What do we multiply by 3 here to make that a 12?
4.
Okay. So I multiply by 4 and get 8 times 4 is 32. Okay. And then on the bottom, 4 times what? 3. So we multiply by 3 on top and we get 3. So now the problem, instead of 8 thirds minus 1/4, we have 32 twelfths minus 3 twelfths. Don't forget that we are subtracting here. I'm going to scratch this stuff out because we're not using it anymore. What is 32 minus 3? 29. So we get 29 on top. And what do we get on the bottom? 12. Can I reduce that? No. The only things that go into 12, there's a lot of stuff that goes into 12 actually, but 2 doesn't go into 29, 3 doesn't go into 29, 4 doesn't go into 29, 6 doesn't go into 29. Nothing goes into both of them, so that's going to be your final answer.